It just makes me giggle. So, hello, everyone. Hello. Mark Stay here. Welcome to Mark Stay's Creative Differences, a monthly live stream where I talk to writer friends about those little things that make a big difference to their craft and careers, in the hope that we can give readers some insight to the creative process, and writers and other creative folk some practical advice that they can actually use. I'm Mark Stay, author, screenwriter, and podcaster. And if you're joining us live, feel free to ask questions in the comments and take part in the conversation. A big thank you, as always, to Dominic Curry for his jingle, which has a Star Wars theme today. That's the little alien at the end. We'll probably get sued by Lucasfilm, but it was worth it. Thank you, Dom. Thank you so much. And but first, before we get started, this podcast is a year old. A year ago, actually a year ago tomorrow, I think, but if you listen to recording, it was a year ago, whenever. A year ago, I was chatting to the lovely Steve Gowland about his fantasy fiction with a vague plan that I might do this once a month and have a laugh with some author friends, and that we all might be able to learn something along the way. And you know, it seems to have worked. So my question to you, good people, is should I keep going? Should I keep going? I'm not fishing for flattery or anything. You know, I'm not a desperate, fragile ego. But you know, do you think I should keep going? Just let me know in the comments. Be nice. And people from Edinburgh, we've got people from New Zealand, we've got people from all over. It's fantastic, wonderful. Well, look, let's get on with it. My guest is the author of the best-selling After the Storm, which I read, and it is just a proper page turner. I mean, I could not read it quickly enough. And also Into the Fire. I've got my hot little hands. See what I did there? Which I haven't read yet. Sorry, I haven't read it yet. But I have serious FOMO for everyone has read it, because people are saying this is just, you know, book it, thriller of the year. He's genuinely one of the nicest guys in the business with an extraordinary tale to tell. It's only that GD, right? Gary, welcome to the Creative Differences podcast. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. Can I have that jingle?
Of course. Yes, let's bring you on stage. 3, 2, 1. Mamlo. Oh,
do it twice.
Sorry.
It looks like it does look like I'm on Mars or something, but I'm sort of locked.
That could be that sort of taupe background. Could be the cantina, couldn't it? You know, Greedo is just out of shot, demanding money from Solo, and
it was either that or my hideous bedroom wall behind me. I'm locked away in the bedroom, and the kids are downstairs with the wife. So so I'm hiding. But I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. And well, look, let's. Thank you. Yeah, it was just, you know, I sort of, you know, I quit the bestseller experiment, which was, you know, the best book author podcast there was, award-winning podcast, and then thought, actually, I quite like talking to authors, but maybe not once a week, 52 weeks a year. Just get, you know, people I like in for a quick chat. So, and let's talk about Into the Fire, because this thing here, everyone is talking about it, and it's got such a great hook, which is, you know, he runs into the flames a hero, he emerges from the ashes a suspect. Tell us more about Into the Fire, Gary.
You know what, I'd love to claim credit for it, but I didn't actually make that up. As you're probably aware, I mean, we send these books off to our editors, and they come back with this fantastic blurb. And I've got to say, it was my my old editor at Avon, Rachel Hart, who came up with that tagline. And you know, when you see something, you think, yeah, I'll have a bit of that. That's pretty good, that is. So yeah, I can't claim any credit for it. I will, but I can't. But no, so it's a book set in the same fictional town as my first book, After the Storm, and we follow a local man, Steve Minchin, who lives a nice, quiet life with his family until he performs, you know, one of those acts of heroism that we'd all love to boast about. You know, he runs into a burning building, he saves a baby from it. But unfortunately, in the era of camera phones and Twitter and socials and everything else, it's sort of live streamed, and it's immediate news, isn't it? That's the era that we live in now, the generation we live in. Everything is in your face and it's there straight away. So the next morning, it's all over the national media, you know, local hero saving a baby, and he's fated as that, a national hero. But with the acclaim comes scrutiny, and a dark past is slowly revealed.
We got a comment here from Donna, who's joining us live. She said,
"Hey, there she is."
epic. I think that's 5 exclamation points. One of my reads of 2025. Thank you, Donna, so much for that. And
Thanks,
yes,
Don.
everyone is talking about this. Look, you might not have come up with a shout line, but you came up with the concept. And your book, your first book, definitely, After the Storm, which I devoured, absolutely devoured. Twist and turny, keeps you guessing literally to the very last page. That I don't say anything, but last page was one of those oh my god moments where it's like genius, absolute genius. So what's your process for something like this? Are you starting at the back and starting at the end and working backwards from there, or are you surprising yourself? You plotting
No,
your
I'm a
pants?
massive pantser. I don't know how you write, Mark, but I'm such a pantser. So I a pantser and a planner. Planners will write down their chapter plans and know the intricacies of what's going to happen and characters' dialogue and everything in their mind or on paper from the start to the finish. Whereas I haven't got a clue what's going to happen. It's brilliant. I can remember in the first book, someone died. Like, ooh, that wasn't meant to happen, but it did.
Yeah.
It's just the way it happened, But I am totally a pantser, but it does give you nightmares sometimes because you'll be writing and then you're thinking, don't actually know where this is going. But for every book I've written, and I've actually written 6 now, they're not all published yet, obviously. I've actually written 6, and in every single one of them, there was a eureka moment where everything sort of slotted together. I don't know how, and I don't know why, but it's I don't know. And it normally happens in the middle of the night, so you're having to reach for your phone and get the notes app up or leave yourself a voice memo and that's how I write anyway.
Well, you just answered my questions from later on. We'll come to that. Anne Jones is joining us live. She says, fantastic read, all caps. A proper, if you read just one book this year, book. Fantastic. Thank you, Anne. Now, when you look at when you open up Into the Fire, it starts by describing the first 4 stages of a fire, which I found was fascinating, which is ignition, growth, fully developed, decay, and that comes from the National Fire Protection Association. And of course, my writer mind is going ignition, growth, fully. Is that something that you knew? Did it come from research? And then I look at that thinking, is there a structure to that? Does that work thematically? Did it influence the story? Talk about that front piece.
Simple answer, no. Any body of work, any essay, any film, any book, anything generally has 3 parts, doesn't it? We have the opening, we have the main part, and then we have the conclusion. And that sort of worked for this. Obviously we're talking about the fire having 4 stages, but the first 3 were pretty, clear cut for me. I could put this in that category, that there, and then just have the epilogue as the last bit, the decay bit, which doesn't actually suit what happens in the epilogue, but I won't go any further than that because it's not decay. No. It's hope, it's optimism. It's honestly, it's all that. But in terms of when I sort of came upon that idea, it was actually at the very last stage. It was at the copy edit stage. It was. So I had the book written out, and in my mind there was a defined beginning, middle, and end. But it was only when I was doing a bit of digging and thought I'd like something a bit different, something that structurally separates things. So you can, rather than just having part 1, part 2, part 3, or beginning, middle, end. I came across that. I thought that's absolutely perfect. I really like that, and it worked for me.
Fantastic. Well, this is your second book. You mentioned you've written 6 books. Some haven't been published yet, but authors will often talk about second book syndrome. And of course, After the Storm was such a smash. Everyone was talking about it. It was just, was there a point? I mean, where were you on Into the Fire? I think probably you would have written it, but you might have been in copy edits or something. Was there any feeling of, I've got to follow that at any point?
I don't know. I mean, After the Storm, I self-published back in 2020 or 2021.
Right.
So it was called A Parent Apart back then, and it was quite a weird way of getting published. So I self-published it as A Parent Apart, and it was just an itch to scratch. During COVID, during lockdown, a lot of people turned to writing, and I was one of them. I was self-isolating because of my heart. And I just thought, I fancy writing a book. I always say it was almost a chip on my shoulder because I didn't go to university. and I really wish I'd gone to university. So I thought, well, what can I do that would not elevate me to where my peers are at, but to do something that sort of stands out. So it was a bit of a chip on the shoulder. I self-published it and didn't expect anything from it. You know, it was just a fun thing to do when, you know, the world had gone mad, and you couldn't go out. And I actually got optioned. You know, the book got optioned by the production company I'm working with on several bits. And that sort of gave me that little bit above the parapet. You know, I always say to people, it's so hard these days to firstly get an agent, because how do you stand out in a crowd of thousands? You have to have just that one thing that puts your head slightly above the parapet, you know, slightly above everyone else. And I think that's what it was for me, just having that option agreed. So I got an agent, and then, you know, with the agent, you think, well, hey, I'm about to be a millionaire author. And it doesn't happen. You know, it takes forever then to get a book deal. But yeah, my route to being published was, you know, traditionally published. When I say published, was a bit different to the standard write a manuscript, get an agent, get a publishing deal, and then get published. It was just a little bit different to that.
Yeah, you've done it completely the wrong way. Well, no, the thing is, I mean, I do talks for writers and writing groups, and I say to them, the old route used to be, okay, you write a book, you get it to an agent gets it to a publisher, and the publisher gets it to a retailer, and the retailer gets it to a reader. And now you can do that in any order. You can hop, skip, and jump all over, and just go straight to the reader.
Interesting, Mark, is I mean, you must know Margate Bookie. It's our local book festival, yours and I's.
Yeah.
And I'm actually doing a workshop at Margate Bookie with my editor and my agent. So we're only having a group of about 12, and it is the path to publication from first draft all the way through to book on the bookshelf. And you get the insight from the author, the editor, and the agent. So yeah, it's going to be a really good one, I think.
Brilliant. Send me the details for that, and I'll put that in the show notes so people can know about it. Because the thing is, you know, you self-published, had a different title, A Parent to Part.
Yeah.
Then you got an option. Is that a film option?
Yes. Well, it started as film. It's moved to TV, but yes.
TV. Okay, but they've optioned the screen rights.
Yeah.
Then you use that as leverage to get an agent.
Pretty much.
Fantastic. Oh, I love it. Yeah. That's brilliant. That's the way to do it, isn't it?
And if I've got any leverage I can use, you can guarantee I'll use it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's so nice to hear, because, you know, many of us authors are quite introverted, and, you know, we don't want to boast or anything, but it's, and we don't want to, I've got a book. Can you please read my book, please? Whereas if you go in and kick the door down and go, oh, I've got a TV show, publish me.
It's so funny, Mark. It's just a different story. When I was trying to get author quotes for the first book for After the Storm, I would literally just slide into the DMs of pretty much any author going. And I mean, quite a few said yes. I was very lucky, but obviously no one knew who I was. They're probably thinking, who is this jumped up little oik trying to get a quote for a book? But it works in some cases, you know. I think the first one was my good friend Jackie Kabler. She's brilliant. And Jackie was the first one. She still laughs about it now, about how I slid into her DMs.
You don't have to make it sound like that. But that's the thing. That's the thing, though. If you don't ask, you don't get, do you? You know. And,
exactly.
Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. So you've got, you know, that second book. Let's go back to that. Were you feeling any pressure with the second book, having had such a hit with the first one?
No, I mean, genuinely no. I had other things on my mind anyway when it was coming around to publication, as you're well aware. But no, I didn't. I just enjoy the whole process, to be honest. And you know, I love doing it. And if you find something you love doing, generally I don't feel pressure. You know, I'd feel pressure if I was in a job that I hated and had to perform in, if that makes sense, because like you're then under pressure to perform, and you're hating what you do. But no, doing something I love, and I absolutely love it. You know, I just love sitting in front of my computer and writing, whether it's as with you, whether it's screenplays or novel writing, or just writing an article, or, you know, anything. I just love pen on paper or fingers on keyboard. But yeah.
Well, let's talk about pressure. Let's talk about joining the police force at 18. You know, you didn't go to university. I didn't go to university. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I have a deep fat fryer full of chips on my shoulder. But you joined the police at 18. Did you
Yeah.
have any ambitions to write back then? Was it something you were doing back then?
Do you know what? My mum and dad were going through their loft a few years ago, and they were, we've got your English book or your maths book from
Right.
1994. I mean, why do we need all this garbage up in our loft? Which is a fair comment. But yes, I pulled down about 20 years worth of like absolute rubbish, but in amongst the rubbish, there were some diamonds. And one of them was an anthology that I'd done when I was about 9 or 10 years old. And it was all full of like poems and short stories. And I know it's brilliant. I've got it somewhere. I've actually shared it on my Instagram before. And I can remember writing in it. I remember writing, this by Gary Wright, aged either 9 or 10. I can't remember what it was. And it said, "This will be the last thing I ever write." It was the original mic drop moment.
Yeah. This is my genius. Deal with it. Yeah.
But yeah, so like, in answer to your question, I think I've always loved writing, but you just don't find time, do you, when like real life takes over? But I'm very privileged and fortunate that I can do it full time now. So yeah, I'm very lucky in that regard.
But it was lockdown. It was lockdown was the moment where you thought, okay, time to knuckle down.
Yeah, I mean, so I left I'm sure we'll talk about the health and stuff later, but I left the police when I was 29. I retired, and we bought a coffee shop in Ramsgate Harbour, and I loved it down there, mate. We'd work for 6 months, or not even that, 4 or 5 months, and then have the rest of the year off. So you'd work the peak months of summer, and then just have the winters off. It was brilliant. But then the kids came along and sort of spoiled it, like kids do.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
They wanted to see us in the summer. I mean, could you imagine that?
Oh, the nerve!
I know. But no, so we wanted to see the kids. Obviously, it's summer months are special months, and you only get 18 summers with your kids. So we sold the shack, and then it just everything. My life's been strange in so many ways because I've had so much bad health, but everything seems to have then become rosy. It's so hard to quantify or explain. A falling on my feet is I think the best way to say it in so many ways. I sold the shack and then got a writing career, which is just something. It's just so out there. It's just crazy.
I think you're skimming over. Falling on your feet. There's a lot of hard graft going on there, guys. I think you got to be good to yourself there. But let's talk about. You mentioned age 20. So you joined the police at 18. Yeah. Age 29, things start to go wrong health wise. You retire at 30. So tell us about that.
I mean, I was just I say normal. I don't think I've ever been normal, but I was just a standard 20-something-year-old bloke who, worked hard and played hard. I suppose go out drinking with your mates and a lot of golf, a lot of cricket. I was very fit, very healthy, and then I was 27 and I played a round of golf and got home that night, and then I passed out in the bathroom. And I remember it because it was 2 days before my sister's wedding, my eldest sister. 2 days before her wedding, and I just left it. I didn't do anything about it, and I passed out. And I can remember it was a small bathroom we had back then, and I can remember being on the floor and my wife slamming the bathroom door into my head. It was about 11 o'clock at night. She was slamming his bathroom door into me. Like, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" Oh no. So I came around naturally, so that was fine. And then it happened again on the Sunday, the day after my sister's wedding. I sort of collapsed into a plate full of food at lunchtime at the pub. So I went up to the hospital, and I'll never forget. It was a lovely Russian female doctor, and she said to me, "You've got like really bad damage to your heart, and you're 20 something." And you think, well, obviously you're wrong, duh, because we're invincible, aren't we, when we're that age? You're 20 something, you live forever. Yeah. But it turned out I had a genetic condition called arrhythmogenic right ventricular cardiomyopathy. But it's the disease that you see when a footballer just drops dead on the football pitch.
Oh God! Yeah.
It's that disease. So I was very lucky to have it diagnosed, and secondly, still be alive. As a result of it, those collapses could very easily have been fatal. And so I had to retire from the police, and I've got scars all over me now where I've had various procedures and defibrillators and ICDs and pacemakers and whatnot, and all that put in me. but I don't know. You just become aware of your own mortality. I mean, being in the police, you're dealing with death every day. You know, you're dealing with. I was a coastal police officer, so you're dealing with people who jump off cliffs and drownings in the sea, and suicides are very sadly 10 a penny. But also in amongst that, you've got your regular deaths that police attend anyway. Just your, not suspicious deaths necessarily, but just unexplained deaths and things like that. But all of that you're detached from, and when it affects you directly, it's like, oh shit, that's me, that's real life. And that took a while to sort of get my head around. Really did, mate. It threw me for quite a while. And I mean, I'm still on anxiety tablets now. I'm quite open about that. There's no shame in it. And it all stems from there. And then we had the kids, and because it's genetic, you're worried about where it's going to go and how it's going to impact the kids. I mean, our kids, fortunately, are okay. It's a long story, but the basics of it are that I got one dodgy gene from my mum and one dodgy gene from my dad, and those two sort of one triggered the other and brought out the disease in me. But both of my children, fortunately, have both got the non-disease causing genes. They've got one of the bad genes, but it's not a disease causing gene.
Wow.
So yeah, it's fascinating, mate. It's absolutely fascinating. I mean, they're under Great Ormond Street till they're 18, so they receive great care, and then they'll be transferred to my hospital, St Bartholomew's in London. And it's the more, again, people say, well, how do you cope with it? And I say, well, I know what's wrong with me. You probably don't know what's wrong with you. So the more you do, the more you find. I retired from the police and bought the coffee shop, and we did that for 8 years. So yeah, life's been an adventure.
And I do appreciate that you're so open about talking, because there could be people out there who have the same thing, or or maybe you just want to get checked out, and you are so open about this and vocal, and it's so good to hear that. But then this year in May, you had another bad episode, didn't you? Because
April, mate,
was it April? Because we had a coffee, because we live not too far from each other. We had a coffee, and I was like, "Yeah, see you soon. Take care. Bye." And then the next thing,
was it that handshake we had? Is that what it was?
Probably was. Yeah, the electric buzzer I gave you, but probably didn't help.
It was. When was it? It was 2 days before Easter.
Right.
Actually, it was about a week before Easter. I've been out jet washing the garden, and it was a Monday morning, Monday afternoon. So I've been out jet washing the garden, and I came in, and my wife's a fitness instructor, so she went off to do one of her classes in the evening. And while she was away, I just suddenly, all of a sudden, bang, came down with a fever. She come back, and I said, I feel really rough. Like, I was feeling around the back of my neck. I thought, I feel like banging hot, really hot and clammy and horrible. So I said, I'm going to bed. So I went to bed, and then it just got worse. And like, fever was spiking up to 40, 41 all week. And I didn't do anything about it because I'd had flu, like proper flu, not man flu. I'd had proper flu a few months before, and it felt just like that. So I didn't do anything about it. I just thought, it's flu, it's going to pass. And I was vomiting, I had sickness and diarrhea and everything else. And I just thought, I've got a bug, it's a horrible bug, or it's flu, or it's something like that, and it's going to pass. And my wife, she actually called an ambulance out for me on the Tuesday night, I think. So it happened on the Monday. I had an ambulance out Tuesday night, and they said to me, the wait is about 12 hours up at A&E. You can come if you want, but yeah, it's up to you. I thought, well, sod that. I'm not going up hospital if there's a wait. I'm lying in bed. I'm done in. It got worse, and then I got all the way through to the Saturday morning, and I thought I was going to die. And that is one of the symptoms of sepsis. Genuinely, mate, it's so weird, because they say one of the symptoms of sepsis is foreboding, what's the word? Yeah,
really, sort of sense of doom.
That's it. Well done. So my sister was around at that point, because Nay was teaching another class, and Nay had called an ambulance. An ambulance come, took one look at me, and hoiked me up the hospital. And yeah, it was a severe sepsis with bilateral pneumonia, so pneumonia in both lungs. Got my liver, my kidney, and the worst thing was, though, that it got my heart as well. And I had a ICD, it's an internal defibrillator that paces your heart as well, but it was in there, and then the leads sort of traverse through your body and then into the heart. But because the device got infected with sepsis, it also got into the heart, so the heart got infected as well. So yeah, I mean, I've got to say, I weren't starting any box sets around there, put it that way. But I didn't realise how ill I was. And they, it was, I think it was touch and go for a couple of weeks. I was in hospital for 2 months. And it was horrible, mate. It was really, really horrible. And I got transferred to London, where to my hospital, to St Bartholomew's. And they just it was antibiotics every 4 hours, 24/7 for 8 weeks, every 4 hours. And it's hard to so because it's intravenous antibiotics, it takes like 15 minutes for them to knock them up, to make the antibiotics, because you think it just comes in a pouch ready made, but they don't. They have to actually make them, because it's all made to order. So they'd make them up, took 15 minutes, and then half-hour infusion, and then another sort of 10-15 minutes for them to come and take it out. So by that time it's an hour, and then you're having it again in 3 hours time. And this was day and night, so you'd get to sleep, and then like a couple of hours later they come and wake you up for more antibiotics, and that's 8 weeks of that. So that was an absolute killer. And like, you know what, I didn't realize, I had 7 blood transfusions as well. I had 7 pints of blood. 7, it just because my stats were so bad. My hemoglobin was like down in the 50s at one point, when it's supposed to be over 150 or so. I don't know what that means. Sounds good. But yeah, so I had a great summer.
My God. Wow. And did you get much writing done?
I had a neighbour in the hospital with me. Your dad was in there.
Yeah, no, my dad, I think he came out the day before you came out. And
did he?
I only realised that you were both there. I should have popped up, given you a surprise.
It cost me a fortune.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah. So sorry, back to my original question.
Yeah,
you didn't get much writing done in that period. Then
Something's been a bit of a write-off.
But you're with us now, and that's important. So look after yourself.
And I can start watching box sets again.
Yes, and also if you get any symptoms, don't be such a man about it. Call an ambulance straight away.
No, I know. It was my own fault.
Well, look, let's talk. You mentioned screenwriting. You mentioned TV and movies and things. So let's talk about Breathe Deep, which originally I think was called Beast of War. So this
Beast of War is a different one. So Cornerstone are actually running. Yeah, Cornerstone are running 2 shark films. Sorry, not a shark film. Survivalist thriller.
Right. Okay. So I thought it was a title change. Tell me about both then. So we've got Beast of War and Breathe Deep.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Beast of War. I just know Cornerstone are running it as it's another project. But yeah, so
so you don't have anything to do with that one?
Not Beast of War, no.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
No. I mean, shark films. I'll tell you what it was. So my good friend James Kermack, who was the chap who actually optioned A Parent Apart back in the day, he came to me and said, "Look, the market's crying out for shark films. Completely random. Should we write one?" Yeah, why not? So we did. And you know what it's like. You get so many ideas and you write so many different things. And what do you reckon? 1 in 10, 1 in 15 might get picked up. But this one, it sounds good. So Cornerstone took it on for sales. Cornerstone, nice, huge company.
Well, they did Unwelcome. They were the sales company on.
Of course they did. Yeah, she told me this. Yeah. So they took it on for sales, and by all accounts, done very well. And we are, all being well, filming next month out in Turks and Caicos. Hurrah!
Wow! Sorry, filming where?
Oh, just in the Caribbean, darling. Turks and Caicos. Never set your films in Skegness. Nothing wrong with Skegness. Sorry.
No, but this is why Michael Caine did Jaws: The Revenge. He opened it up and it said exterior the Caribbean. He said, "I'm in."
And he also didn't he say it bought his mum a house or something like that? There was something.
I used to live near it in Leatherhead. We used to see his house all the time. It's massive, absolutely massive. So it's funny to say that. I mean, John,
I'm just a bit scared. I've got to rewind because I've just slagged Skegness off and I've never been there and I feel really bad.
Skeggy's used to it. Don't worry. No, because John and I we were working on the TV idea, and I said, why don't we just set it on a tropical island? And he was like, because he likes scuba diving. He was like, yeah, why not? And
Yeah.
it's in development, so it's
Right.
think about these things. It is in, because the worst words you can write, I did this on Unwelcome, are exterior, night and rain in the slug line. The whole crew hates you then, because they have to get up, they're working all night. Luckily for us, we did it all inside. But so you're shooting in the Caribbean, but also Pinewood as well. So
I
you're
believe
going to
so,
be visiting. Yeah.
yeah.
You're going
It's,
to be visiting the
it's all-
set, or
oh, yeah.
you got to do it.
I did send I sent a begging email to the boss at the production company saying, you love me, and I love you, and any chance Turks maybe? Yeah, thanks.
You got to do it. You got to do it. We
What you have?
Yeah, we did for Robot Olas, we did a day of pickups at Pinewood, but they did a lot of the post-production there. So I got to visit, and you're walking down Goldfinger Avenue, and there's the Bond stage, and
can't wait.
if you're there, if you're there when it's quiet, you feel like you own the place. You feel like king of the world.
It's brilliant. So James has been there quite a bit recently, and he's been sending me all these videos, because we're using the tank there. They've got a big water tank, and James has been sending me all the shots of him in this, because we're using old deep sea diver stuff. And he sent me this video yesterday of him, and I could see his face getting sort of more and more scared. And I said, was it a bit claustrophobic in there? And I can't read his reply out because there was a bit of swearing. He did get a bit claustrophobic in the helmet.
We got a comment here from Gavin GB Ralph, who's joining us today. Says, I love this approach. I reckon my next series will have to be set only in glamorous international locations. It's
Absolutely.
The way forward,
if you follow the Del Boy van, you can't really go wrong, can you? Apart from the second bit.
But look, people be listening to this and going, you jammy sod, how did you manage to do this?
So what I'm saying, it is a lot of it is just right place, right time, and I can't say any more than that. There's people out there way more talented than me that never get a shot, and I know, because I've genuinely, Mark, I've like one of my friends, she's been trying to get published for forever, and I've read her books and they're brilliant, but it's just so hard, as I was saying earlier, to stand out. Much better than what I can do, but I was just in the right place at the right time, and it's true.
Are her books set in Skegness though? Is that the rookie era?
I love Skegness. I'm never ever talking about Skegness. I love Skegness. Oh, that's very Donna's.
We got comment. You tell me, is Luton better or worse than Skeggy?
No comment.
Yeah, no. I had a pop at Luton in my last thing, so I'm not going to do it. On this one.
I must shout the guys I work with at is Futuristic Films. Brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. They're professional, but
let's unwrap it, though. Let's unwrap it. How did you make the connection? How did it all come about?
That was it's a brilliant story. So where we had the shack, I was selling copies of A Parent Apart. Myself published one. I was selling copies at the shack. Yeah, I sold quite a few down there. And one of my customers, regular, recognised him, but enough to say, hello, mate, all right, what do you want? I can't remember what he used to have, actually. He'd have what would James have? He would have had a frappe with ice cream. Definitely a frappe with ice cream. And he saw it one day.
And you're the one with the heart condition.
Yeah. Oh, no, he would, not me. Him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just match your tea for me, darling. But he picked up a copy of the book, and it was just another customer buying a copy of the book. And he came back a week later and went, Reg book, loved it. I want to option it. What does option it mean? And that's the story. So he just, he moved down from London with his wife, and I don't know if they'd had any children then, actually. But they've got two lovely kids now. And they moved down to the coast from London. And he was partner at Futuristic, still is. He's the creative director and all that. And he just read the book via the shack and optioned it sort of on the spot. And it was, it's just brilliant. I didn't know what it meant, but it was great. So I really like that story.
That the thing is, you keep going, it's just a bit like a right place, right time. But
come on, that was luck. Oh yeah,
No,
but that's
I'm not having it. No, I'm not having it. I know people talk a lot about luck, but you put the work in, you made the book as it possibly could be. It's not going to option a book if it's pants, all right? So you wrote a good book. That isn't luck, that is hard graft. Then you had this entrepreneurial thing is I'm going to sell it off my coffee stand. Now I know there are people who might think, oh no, what it's mixed messages. Should I do this? Do I have the right to do this? You know, but you did it. You know, so I think, you know, hats off to you. It's you know, you've got to take every opportunity that comes along, because you know the universe isn't waiting for you to write this book. You've got to put it out there, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, you know, life doesn't present itself to you on a plate, does it? You got to go out and get it.
No, absolutely. Well, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Bear with us.
Can you use the jingle?
I'll bring you back in a minute. Shall I put the jingle back for you? You want the jingle, don't
Please
you?
do the jingle, yeah.
Let's bring the jingle back. I have it on loop for you. There we go. Yeah, the novelty wears off after a while. Let's talk about the green room, people. The green room, twice a month, I run live sessions on Zoom where you can ask me questions about the craft of writing, your work in progress, or the business of publishing. The sessions are fun, informal, chatty. You can send me questions in advance. It's recorded and we save it on Ko-fi. I'm doing all this through Ko-fi for exclusive access to Green Room supporters. So we'll pop a link in the Green Room there. There we go, ko-fi.com/MarkStayWriter. Come and find me on there, and I'll pop it in the show notes if you're listening back to the podcast. So I'm running this through Ko-fi. You can join by clicking on the Green Room membership. It's £20 a month. That's all it is. 2 sessions a month. There's no long-term commitment. And so you can just do a month or a couple of months as long as you like. But frankly, everyone who signed up at the start is still with me now, which is really good. And my goal is to be able to give supporters advice that will make a real difference to their writing and career. Because the way I see it, having worked in this industry as a salesperson, bookseller, author for over 30 years, I've made every mistake, so you don't have to. Next Green Room session is on Wednesday, the 10th of September, 8 p.m. British Summer Time. That's a Q&A session. People send me questions in advance. You can ask me questions on the evening. Again, it's all very relaxed and chatty. And then the next one in September is the 24th, which is the 200-word workshop session. We usually theme these around something. You send me 200 words from your work in progress, and we critique it and have a lot of fun and become better writers. Now, I just want to so, you know, it's not just me in there waffling to myself. We've got some cracking people in there. So here are a few current Green Room members. So we've got Wendy Gedney, whose book, The French Bed, has come out just this week. It's a romance mystery set in Languedoc and Paris. And I've read, because, you know, she's been a Green Room member, I've read bits of this and critiqued it. It is absolutely brilliant. It's really, really good. So check out Wendy's new book. We've got Max Elwood is a member. He writes these fantastic thrillers about this journalist who returns to Southend. Really sort of like think Ian Rankin, but in Essex. It's really, really good. It's terrific. And, you know, Max is there with us. Phil Oddie, who is challenging me to do more Comic-Cons this year than I am. Fantastic science fiction author. Really nice guy as well. Such a wise mind too. And Fee Phillips, you know, author of the Haven Chronicles. So these are fantasy, epic stuff. She's such a good writer. So those are the kind of people that you'll be joining twice a month. So, you know, check us out. Pop along to the Green Room, £20 a month. And, you know, I'll see you there, hopefully. I've got books. You can buy my books. You can buy them all from all good bookstores, of course. But if you want signed and dedicated copies, you can come straight to my store at witchesofwoodville.com. Now, let me just talk about this seriously for a moment. Thanks to the tariffs brought in by the Fanta Fura, I'm going to have to pause shipping to the USA until it becomes clear what the situation is. I got a thing from the Royal Mail recently saying, as it stands, it looks like any orders to the States are going to be subject to tariffs that you, the American consumer, will have to pay. You can still get my stuff from Amazon, American friends, but if you want signed paperbacks from me, you might have to wait for a while. I'm going to see, you know, we'll see. I think the thing is, there's so much uncertainty. I don't want to send you something and then you end up getting 100% tariff on top of that or whatever. So we'll check that out. Keep watching, you know, keep watching this, subscribe to my newsletter, keep an ear open. I'll let you know when it all sorts itself out. But yeah, Thank you, Trump. Okay, back to our amazing guest, Jeannie Wright here. We've got regular questions here, Gaz.
Whoa. I think you need a book tour of America, mate.
Well,
if you do, can I come with?
Yeah.
No. If you do, can I come with?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We had Sarah Pimber on a few months ago, and she's done a couple of them now, and it's not as glamorous as you might think it is. It's a lot of work. It's exhausting.
I see Lisa Jules, bless her, when she's doing them, and it's literally hotel, plane, signing, hotel, plane talk, hotel, plane signing. So yeah. I mean, I'd do it. You know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Avon, if you want to send me out there, I'd love to go and do
it. Well, I've just dissed Trump, so then I'm going to let me in the country.
Yeah, you stopped at the border.
Yeah. Okay, our regular questions, guys. So,
Sorry.
What small thing has made a big difference to your creative process?
That's a good question. I suppose so. I realizing that writing's like a habit. So I liken it to going to the gym. If I go to the gym and I get into the habit of it, bang on it, mate. I can do it 5-6 days a week, no probs. Yeah. If I stop, then going to the gym is an absolute pain in the backside, isn't it? Like, can't be bothered. I'll find any excuse not to do it. And writing's pretty much the same for me. So treating it as a habit, even if you write 200 words in a day, 2,000 words in a day, and then you bin it, at least you've written something and you're in the habit of doing it. That's probably I reckon that works for me.
You've just summed up 450 episodes of the bestseller experiment in about 30 seconds there. Love it. Fantastic. Yeah. Took us years to figure that out, Gary. But yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. What's the thing that makes you think you're ready to start writing on a project?
Sleepless nights.
Oh, really? Keeps you up?
Yeah. So, imagine you got the seed of an idea in your head, and then you're lying there. And I always play word association games in my head to try and get asleep because I've tried everything. Really? Genuinely, that's what sends me to sleep. It's really weird. But yeah, I'll play word association games, and then my mind will shift to, that's a good start to a book, isn't it? And then, what if that happens? And then, that could happen too. And then it's 5 o'clock in the morning, you've had no sleep, and the kids are coming in saying, right, let's go and play all day now. Hey, brilliant. I think, sleepless night. What? Yes, I like that. Sleepless nights. There you go. That's when you're ready to start writing.
Love it. At the other end of the process, how do you know when you're done?
I'm never done. That's the trouble. I'm a tinkerer. So that's why deadlines are good for me, because I will just sit and play with something until the words are just letters on a piece of paper rather than like sentences. I don't see sentences, I see letters, and just get rid of it, because I will just tinker until the deadline. So for example, book 3, I wrote it ages ago, but I've gone through and given it a good structural edit with my editor, and she gave me a really long lead date. To be fair to her, it was really good because of all the health issues over the summer. She gave me until the 1st of September, but I finished it about 2 weeks ago, and I was just sitting there every day just messing around with it. And sometimes messing around is not good, is it?
No, sometimes it's best left alone.
I sent it off early, and I think when I get to the tinkering stage, that's when I know that I'm done. When I'm just changing words for the sake of it, and just mixing up dialogue and whatnot. That's when I'm done, I think.
But that first book, where there was no deadline, there's no editor breathing down your neck. How did you know when you'd done that?
Oh, I finished that in 2 months because I had all day every day. I had all day every day to write. I don't know. I wrote every day. When you think about it, it's like 1,500 words a day, isn't it? Which for me isn't. If I'm on a good day, I do 3,000 or 4,000 words. It doesn't mean
you're
I keep
one of those.
Right, it doesn't mean. I mean, Gillian McAllister's the worst. You know what she does?
No, go on.
She writes a book and then she deletes it and writes it again.
What?
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah,
right.
I can't. I don't have any truck with that.
She's not done bad though, is she?
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, she genuinely, she'll write a first draft. I don't know, 80,000 words, 90,000 words. I don't know what her sort of length is, and then she'll delete it and write it all again. I remember I did I did a Facebook Live with her on the UK Crime Book Club last year, And she
Yeah.
said it, and my mouth sort of hit the floor. Like, what?
Yeah.
But what? But she does. It works for her. You know, she writes brilliant books and sells millions. So, you know,
Yeah,
for it.
clearly knows her stuff.
Couldn't do that. I can remember once I'd done about 2,000 words in a day, and then I don't know if you use MacBook, but I got the spinning circle on the MacBook. I couldn't retrieve
Really?
it. Lost it.
Oh
I
no!
was devastated. Someone nearly passed out. What with Gillian? Yeah,
Yeah, that's Bill.
Yeah.
Bill's a great writer. He's but
yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy, but it works for her, and everyone everyone has their own process. You know, creative differences. That's what you do. But you should get her on here. She talks to you all about it.
we
She'll be
should.
brilliant.
Yeah, we'll get her on. Well, she did. Was she the Honest Authors podcast?
Yes, with Holly
doing anymore. Holly Seddon. Yeah. No, we definitely have to get her on. Now, next question you've sort of already answered, but how do you remember that idea you have at 3 a.m? You either don't sleep or put it on the notes app. But you know, is that's your when your mind is buzzing? Is it?
Yeah, iPhone notes. I've got I had to make a folder the other week because my phone, my notes was just like shopping list, idea, random lists of people's names. Don't know what it's for. Then like lists of money. I wish I had the amount of money that I had on my notes. And just I got some randoms. Let me find a random note. Let's see what I've got on here. It's really interesting, isn't it? Isn't it interesting going through your phone? Isn't it though? Brilliant.
While he's doing that, folks, questions. We'll ask him some questions. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments. Emily will fish them out. And have we got a few already, Em?
Oh, how about this one? You like this one? Please can they bring in some Marks and Spencer's katsu chicken sushi? I don't know why that's in my notes, but what's the date of that one? 25th. That's when I was in hospital.
Okay,
I remember that now. I couldn't talk. Talking hurt. So I typed it out on my phone and gave it to my mum and my sister and asked them to get names. How very middle class of me. That's middle class illness. Please can they bring in some Marks and Spencer's katsu chicken sushi? Because one is rather poorly. One is craving some katsu chicken sushi, but only from M&S.
It's funny. Do you remember we went? This is a bit of a not a name drop exactly, but we went to a screening of Robot Overlords at BAFTA in Piccadilly, and my son came out, and he was 10 years old, and he came out and went, right, sushi, and I looked at him and said, "Who are you?"
Daddy,
oh, Papa, to the sushi bar.
It's because he'd seen an Itsu across the road.
Sorry?
It's because he'd seen an
Itsu across the road. Yeah.
Please, can you have that as a new feature of your podcast? Getting guests to read out a random note from their iPhone.
You know what? I might nick that. That's a good one.
Sorry, I digressed.
Could get us into trouble. Now, next question. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made in your writing career?
There's a saying there, isn't there? Nothing's a mistake if you learn from it. But I'm full of them. If you ask my sister, I've got lots of old sayings. Private joke, she'll get it. No, I think probably thinking that you have to sell billions of copies in your first week to be successful. Because we're not all like Richard Osman or Gillian or Claire Douglas or they're all great people and great authors. They're in a different, it's not like there's league tables as such, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's what my publishers especially are really geared towards. It's not about selling thousands in week one. It's about building a career rather than forcing a career. Does that make sense?
Completely. I mean, I do a lot of Comic Cons, and people will meet me for the first time, and as far as they're concerned, it's a new book. Publication date might have been 4 years ago or whatever, but as far as they're concerned, publication date is today. And I think we get so hung up on that day. Yeah.
There's so many levers that publishers pull, and it's not all during the first week. Do you have book clubs? I mean, I've had a couple of book clubs recently, and that bolsters your sales no end. Kindle deals, Kindle monthly deals, Kindle daily deals. There are so many levers that publishers can pull, and it's not all within that first week, unless you're a super successful author like the ones I just mentioned.
Well, it's that first week. I mean, having worked for a publisher, we would have the brand authors where we wanted to get them the top 10, because there comes a point with certain authors who have enough money, have the sales, but they want the kudos of getting in the top 10 or even a number 1. So everything, all the strategy goes into making that happen and making sure we get squeeze everything we can out of that first week. But for the rest of us, like you say, it is a marathon, not a sprint. I think we get far too fixated on pub days and pub weeks.
I love it when you see someone who's so established still get excited about publication. Like Jeffrey Archer, he's mid-80s now, and he's got a new book coming out, and you can see it's all just like the first time all over again. It's all exciting. I love it. It's brilliant. It's good though.
Right. What's the best happy accident of your writing career?
I can't talk about accidents around me. I think I was one. Sorry. Dad's watching. Hi, Dad. Love you.
Me too. I was as well. Yeah.
I don't suppose it's an accident, but maybe an accidental meeting. We got a brilliant WhatsApp group of authors. So there's, we got some wonderful people on there. I can't name them all because there's too many to name. But we all sort of fell into conversation at Harrogate, which is a big crime festival.
Oh yeah.
This was last year, and we're all thick as thieves now. We message every day, and one of them's got a book club actually today. Ruth Irons has got a book club for The Perfect Guest, 99p bargain. There you go. There's my plug done. There you go. But yeah, so I don't know if it's a happy accident, but we're all similar stages of career. We got people on there like Jackie Kabler, who sold millions of books, and then people at the start of their career like me, and a few others like Ruth and others as well. So it's a good mishmash of people. But yeah, so that's probably, I wouldn't say it's a happy accident, but meeting them was, good, and that's the closest I think I can get to a happy accident.
Fantastic. I mean, again, you're putting yourself out there. You're going to Harrogate. You're meeting people. You're overcoming any anxiety you might have.
Oh my God, I'm doing bloody Scotland in a couple of weeks' time. Have you ever done? You ever been to bloody?
I've not done it, but I hear such good things about it. It's a brilliant festival.
Right. If you want name dropping, I am doing a panel with Chris Chibnall, who created Broadchurch.
Yeah, and ran Doctor Who for a few years. Yeah,
he did. Yeah, I'm doing a panel with him. He's going to be my new best friend. He doesn't know it yet.
Well, it's funny you should say, because a writer friend of mine, Joy Wilkinson, started out on radio, and she worked on something with Chris Chibnall, and she wrote a Doctor Who, and did a couple of other projects with him. And that certainly the TV film world, it's all about.
Oh mate, so in all seriousness, his debut came out this year. It's called Death at the White Hart, and it flew. It's already been tied in with ITV. So there's probably a gig for me and you there, to be honest. Cheers, Chris.
And finally, out of our regular questions, is there a character or a story swirling around in your mind that you want to write, but you're not quite ready to write it yet?
I think on the TV side, so I've got a really interesting TV project that's sort of simmering at the moment. It's not been signed, so I can't say anything about it. But it is relevant, and it is sort of in the public conscience at the moment. It's really interesting, and I can't wait to get stuck into it. Genuinely, I can't wait to see it start moving along. But I can't really say anything about it. But when that happens, that'll be really good. I'm really looking forward to that.
Fantastic. Can't wait. Emski, have we got any listener questions? Can we pop them up on the screen, please? People joining us live. Richard Cave says, I have to be that guy. What biscuit do you rate as an author? Richard comes to all of these. He's obsessed with biscuits. Personally, the gold standard is the chocolate hobnob. But Gaz, tell us your biscuit of choice.
Fruit shortcakes or chocolate digestives.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The biscuit question, regular question.
My wife is... with tea, yeah, definitely. My wife is the biscuit connoisseur, though. She will, I think she'd probably go custard cream.
Yeah, old school. Nice. Do you dunk? You a dunker?
Oh God, yeah.
Of course. Excellent.
Who wouldn't? What kind of heathen wouldn't dunk a biscuit?
Next question, please, Emski. And thank you, Richard. Donna says, is there a scene, line, or moment in one of your books that you particularly love or are proud of that no one mentions?
Yes, Donna, there is. I thought of this the other day. Right, so it's a line. It said I can't remember it now. It's the flames of love were being fanned by the winds of change. Now, if that's not literary, if that's not Booker Prize material, then what is? The flames of love were being fanned by the winds of change.
Is it in this one? No,
it's not. It's in a not unwritten one yet. Unwritten, unpublished one. I love that line though.
Has that gone in front of a copy editor yet?
Copyright GD Wright. No, it'll be chopped. Guarantee it'll be chopped.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the trouble with writing crime. All of my literary prose gets thrown out straight away. It's like they're saying basically waffle, scrub, delete, get to the point.
Yes. Don't bore us, get to the chorus. Thank you for that question, Donna. Any more questions, Em? Okay. Martin Dale says, which character do you relate to most and why?
So Martin is a friend of mine, and he took me on my very first family liaison officer deployment, which was a really interesting one. Yeah, we were police officers together, and Martin was a really experienced flow. So when I went on my first one, Martin took me along because it was a traveller family, and there was potential for it to all go completely wrong. One of the nicest guys, genuinely, you'll ever meet. And he'll hate me for saying this, but when I was ill in hospital, he made sure he got to take the kids out somewhere, sent money over for them to go and do it. So absolute legend of a bloke. Which character do I relate to the most and why? Good question. Probably not me. I don't really base them on me, but you'll recognize anyone who's worked with me, and Martin has, will recognize a lot of the characters that we write in terms of police stuff are composite. So, it's a little bit of someone, a little bit of someone else, and a little bit of someone else. So like DS Wilmot, for example, in the book, she does 50 different jobs that obviously 50 different people would do in real life, but you can't have 50 different characters in a book. So she's the composite of them. And, I see a lot of people I used to work with in Her, for example, completely didn't answer the question there. Politicians answer. Oh, thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. You'll go far. Now, I mean, obviously, you're in the force some time ago. You keep in touch with people in the force. How are you keeping up with all the changes in procedures and that sort of thing?
It's good. I mean, the basics, I don't think will ever change. In terms of why the police are there and what they do. Procedurally, things will change, obviously. But I think as long as you not gloss over it, but it's going to be very similar if it does change. The things that change a lot, to be fair, things like sexual offences. That was a big change in legislation when there were different sexual offences, and the Bail Act as well, actually. So after I left, police used to be able to hold people for up to 24 hours. You still can, but you have to justify it a lot more. They don't want people being arrested if you can deal with it on a doorstep. All kinds of things like that. But generally, when you're writing about the stuff I write about, like murders and whatnot, it's stuff that won't change. Like you're going to arrest someone for murder and you're going to keep them in custody for 24 hours, then get an extension by a superintendent, then go to the court and get another extension. So things like that will never actually change. The intricacies might, but you don't really write about the intricacies. You're writing bigger picture stuff. And again, I've not really answered the question. I'm such a politician. Sign me up.
No,
sign me up.
Well, you can't do a worse job than. Anyway, let's move on. What, Gaz? What's bringing you joy at the moment? I sent you this earlier today, I think, and you mentioned
you did.
Cooking.
Yep, cooking. And that is basically a reenactment of me cooking.
For listeners on the podcast, this is the Swedish chef from the Muppet Says.
I love to cook. Nay hates it, so I get to do all the cooking. And we have a trade-off in our house, which is I do the cooking and she does everything else. So it works a treat for me.
That's fair enough. What's your signature dish? What's your
roast every time,
right? And the secret of a good roast.
Potatoes, good potatoes, as in like decent potatoes, King Edwards or something. Yeah, don't just go and get bog stand. Decent potatoes.
Yeah, good.
Always
good answer, especially from a Kentish man as well.
And rest your meat.
Yes, that's crucial, isn't it? Especially with like turkey and whatever. Yeah.
And make your own Yorkshire puddings. They taste so much better than Aunt Bessie's.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, completely. completely,
Mhm.
totally agree with that. And they come out like the size of well, they look
Yes!
very much like the Swedish chef's hat. There,
It
they
should
be doing
like a
properly.
hat. It should be like a
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah.
And yes,
Oh,
Love
what?
Never Dies. Do you know what? So it's got it's not a revival as such, but they're doing a Love Never Dies at the cinema. Not a film, but
Right.
I think it's just a viewer doing a live
Yeah,
version
yeah,
of it
yeah.
on the stage. And I thought I'd never actually bothered because I love Phantom. It's one of my favourite musicals. And I thought I'm gonna have a
Right.
listen. It got absolutely panned when it came out. Do you remember Love Never Dies? It got absolutely slated. And I listened to the soundtrack and it's bloody brilliant. It's really good. Like it's not Phantom good, but it's really good. So
Well, it's I think it's that sequel thing, isn't it? Even Lloyd
it
Webber
is.
has to cope with the
I
sequel.
think
doesn't he?
people were expecting Phantom basically remade and better, and it's never going to be that. Nothing's ever going to be as
No.
good as Phantom of the Opera.
Well, the thing is, it's not because it's the emotional baggage you bring with it. So, I mean, I can talk about this from like the Star Wars prequels and sequels point of view. The first three films I associate with key moments in my childhood, and so then any new film can never live up to that. Never live up to that. So I mean, I'm wearing a Goonies shirt here. I saw Goonies when I was 12. I was on a soccer exchange in LA, and I was really homesick and lonely. Saw Goonies, 12 years old. Best film I'd seen in my life up to that point. I just laughed my ass off all the way through. It's that emotional baggage that you bring with it. So, but yeah, Love Never Dies. What track should we listen to on Love Never Dies? Is there any standout track for you?
There's a couple. Till I Hear You Sing, and hang on, I'm going to find the other one that I liked. So Till I Hear You Sing was one of them. Hang on, I've got it here somewhere. Till I Hear You Sing and Beneath a Moonless Sky. They're the two good ones. And Love Never Dies is, it's the headline one. And I do have a confession to make. Sorry, I know we're over time. I've never seen Star Wars, any of them. Sorry. Please don't get hurt.
Don't apologize. It's either it's not your thing or you're in for the greatest treat ever. I
tried.
envy anyone. I envy.
I tried, but I couldn't. I'm sorry. Please
don't apologize. We can't all like this. This is one of the things you learn as an author is we can't all like the same things. We can't all like, it's each their own, man. No, don't worry about it. No, Emily, we're never having him on the podcast again. Write that down. I'm gonna move you. I will bring you back on. I'm just gonna move you backstage for a bit while I whiz through the things that are bringing me joy at the moment. So let's go through these. So Alien Earth. Oh my God. This is so good. Noah Hawley, who makes a habit out of taking other people's already great works, see also Fargo and Legion, and he gives it a new and original spin. And he's also figured out that the original Xenomorph is no longer scary. All right, we've got plushies and key rings. Once you're on a key ring, you're no longer frightening. So he's invented all kinds of new and terrifying parasites. And the bit with the sheep on the last episode, I mean, that was gave me nightmares. It's genuinely good. Very different in tone. Fisk. The third season of Fisk is on Netflix in the UK. It's created by the comedian Kitty Flanagan, who you see there. It's set in a small family law firm in Melbourne. It's so funny, it's warm, and the character work in this show is just sublime. If you want to know how to write distinct characters that pop to life in moments, watch Fisk, take notes. Thank me later. You're in for a treat. The other thing I'm absolutely loving at the moment, and where is it? Here we go. I managed to get a proof copy of C.K. McDonald's new one, Ring the Bells. Just had it a couple of days, already halfway through it. This is Queeve McDonald, part of his Stranger Times series. He's one of those authors. He's like Gary. On the first page you're in good hands, and it's going to be so much fun. And hopefully get Queeve on the show later in the year, maybe at Christmas. Who knows? He's got the big white beard. He'd be perfect for it. Absolutely loving that at the moment. That's out. When is it out? It says on the back here. It's out 9th of October. So it's coming pretty soon. And music-wise, Brett McKenzie, who you may remember from Flight of the Conchords, Present. He's got a new album, Freak Out City, which reminds me, it's not a comedy album, but it has a great tone to it. Reminds me of people like Harry Nilsson, Supertramp, 10cc. Check out the title track first. Freak Out City is absolutely brilliant. And the other thing that brings me joy are Comic Cons. I'm doing all kinds of Comic Cons in September. So some dates for your diary. On the 6th of September, I'm going to be in Bournemouth. Doing at the Bournemouth International Centre there. Brian Bless is going to be there. That's worth the price of admission alone. On the 7th of September, I'm going to be at Peterborough Comic Con. And then 13th and 14th of September, I'm going to be up the road here at Quakes Park in Kent. They're having a Renaissance fair. I didn't know what to expect from this. It's going to be, I think it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And it's one of these that goes on all night as well. So I'll just be there during the day selling my stuff. We mentioned Luton earlier. I'm going to Luton on the 21st of September. I've had my jabs. I'm all clean. I'm all ready to go. So it's going to be lots of fun. Sorry, Luton. We love you, really. On the 27th of September, I'm going to be at Crawley Comic Con. I've done that once already this year. It's absolutely brilliant. And then on the 28th, I'm going to be at Abbeycon in Abingdon in Oxfordshire. And I've also been confirmed for the MCM in October, 24th, 25th of October, and the London Film and Comic Con in November, 15th, 16th of November. If you want more dates, pop over to markstayrights.com, and there's all my diary and appearances there. Now, I really hope you've enjoyed this episode of Creative Differences. You're going to find all the links we discussed in the show notes and on the episode's webpage at markstaycreativedifferences.com. Huge thank you to Emily for production assistance, and to Kai Newton for the edit, and to Dominic Curry for the jingle, which we've heard. Have we heard that enough? Let's have it one more time. Stop. Anyway, and a huge thanks as well to my guest, Judy Wright, and to everyone who's joined us live tonight. If you listen to the audio podcast or rewatching this on Facebook or YouTube, thank you very much. But we really missed you. So you're more than welcome to join us next month. Speaking of which, next month's special guest is Lucy Strange on Tuesday, 23rd of September, 8 p.m. BST. Lucy is an award-winning children's author. Now, her books feel like classic children's literature, but they're written in a really accessible and engaging and modern style for today's younger readers. Now, more recently, she's collaborated with the artist Pam Smee on their spooky, funny new series, Lockett and Wild's Dreadfully Haunting Mysteries. They're terrific. She's often inspired by folklore, fairy tales. She combines history with magic and fantasy. You can see why I'm a fan, can't you? And also, before becoming a professional writer, Lucy worked as an English teacher. She's trained and worked as an actor. She narrates her own audiobook. She won an Audie Award for The Secret of Nightingale Wood. So you see, after a year of this podcast, there's still plenty of amazing authors to discover and learn from. And I hope you can join us live Tuesday, 23rd of September, 8 p.m. BST. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, things like ratings, reviews, likes, shares, they all make a huge difference with those AI algorithms. But the most important thing you can do, please, 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 tell a friend about it. Tell a writer friend. Tell your writing group. Send them a link. Get them involved. Get them coming to the live shows. Word of mouth is the best marketing there is. Now, Gaz, I'm going to bring you back on. What's next? What's next? You mentioned more, but I know you've done a 2-book deal with Avon, so there's at least 2 more on the way. You did a copper with the first one. You did a firefighter with the second one. Paramedic for the third one? I mean, what's the pattern here?
Can't remember. Third one. I've just finished it as well. Third one. Oh no, it's good. I like it. It's I should really. I wrote it. It is a diary type thing from the past, colliding.
Really?
Yeah, diary in the past colliding with events in the present.
Excellent, intriguing. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Absolutely can't wait. Fantastic,
Yeah.
brilliant. Well, thank you. That was very good. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us, and thank you everyone joining us live today. And yeah, let's wrap things up. We've run over a little bit, but let's hear that jingle one last time.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Em.
Thank you so much. And we now have to wave at the camera like it's a 1970s, 1980s TV show. So let's all do that. Let's wave and say goodbye to the lovely people out there. Goodbye, everyone. There we go.